Hello ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Hawks here, running through a very brief and quick Skyway Invest Group opportunity presentation. Before we do get started, I do want to run through this compliance disclaimer. This evening, or this presentation, we're going to be talking a little bit about multi-level crowd investing, MLCI, which is a new term that we are coining in the marketplace. We will talk a little bit about EIPs, educational information products, and PIPEs, which are pre-IPO private equity shares. Of course, IPO standing for initial public offering, which is basically the first time a company gets listed on the public stock exchange, wherever that exchange may be. Please note, we are not selling, nor are we licensed to sell shares. All countries have their own rules on the sale of financial products, and we respect the laws of the land. Generally speaking, most countries allow the sale of information products without a special license. We are not selling shares. We are offering an opportunity to participate in a wealth creation education, which provides the fundamental principles on which wealth is created and retained. For doing so, you receive PIPEs as a gift or bonus. Pre-IPO private equity shares in the Skyway technology. We do not offer financial advice, and you shouldn't either unless you're licensed to do so in your area of residence. Only general information is given and should be noted. Please do your own due diligence or seek confirmation from a licensed accountant or financial advisor in your area of compliance. Any figures stated in this presentation are for illustrative purposes only and are by no means a guarantee of performance. So, first things first, who are we? Very simple. Skyway Invest Group, these are the companies that are involved with us right now. You can see Skyway on the left there, which is the technology. The Academy of Private Investor, which is the golden A there. We're all part of the Transnet Group, and of course, Skyway Invest Group right there at the top, which is a trademark of Rail Skyway Systems. These two gentlemen, Andrei Havrato and Dr. Anatoly Yanitsky, got together about 4 years ago and formed a partnership in which will give power back to the people. Dr. Yanitsky is the inventor of the Skyway technology that we are all co-owners of, or potentially become co-owners of, and is an altruistic view on the world and wants to give back to society. He partnered with Andrei Havrato, where he has coupled with his Academy of Private Investor Training to deliver a financial education so as to show people how they can manage the potential windfall they're going to get from the Skyway technology. So we have the high speed there, you can see on the left, up to 500 kilometers an hour with a performance of 500,000 passengers per day. Of course, this is currently being constructed in the UAE. The next one there, we have the Urban Skyway, which is also known as the Unibus, which will travel up to 150 kilometers an hour with performance of 25 to 50,000 passengers per hour. This is already a certified product and can be implemented in any country right now. The next one we have there is the cargo variant. This particular one will carry grain, or it will carry ore, iron ore, mining things, anything you need in that respect. So good for farmers and good for mining companies. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a comparison right here. If we look there, the first one, Skyway, the speed is up to 500 kilometers an hour. Safety, very high. Cost per kilometer to implement, $3 to $5 million a kilometer. It is eco-friendly, and it is, of course, adaptable. It can be built in all terrains, all different sort of lands, through the sea, over mountains, jungles and deserts, etc. The next one we have there is the magnetic levitation train. This will travel up to 600 kilometers an hour. However, it does take a lot of energy to do that. Its safety is high. The cost per kilometer to build is $106 million a kilometer, which is a fair amount. It is eco-friendly. It must be built on flat ground. The next one we have there is the Hyperloop, up to 1,300 kilometers an hour. Moderate safety standard, up to, in fact, over $100 million a kilometer to build. It is eco-friendly. Again, must be built on flat ground. And then if we look at the monorail, which is essentially a comparison for an elevated solution, up to 80 kilometers an hour, a high safety standard, cost per kilometer to build, 36 million kilometer. It is eco-friendly, and again, it must be built on flat ground also. Eco Techno Park is our testing and certification facility, a area of land, 36.86 hectares, that was gifted to Dr. Yanitsky by the Belarusian government because they could see some promise in the transport that they have. Okay, so in 1978, Dr. Yanitsky started working on this concept, among other things. In 2014, they broke ground, or in fact, they started the drawing and broke ground a little bit later in Marina Gorka there, Eco Techno Park that we just had a look at. And you can see now that we're currently sitting in stage 12 of 2018. There are 15 developmental stages, and we're likely to go through stage 13 and beyond after October of 2018. You can see that IP rights and patents have the value at $400 billion, i.e. won't go to IPO until Dr. Yanitsky can guarantee that for all of its members. There are more than 300 MOUs, which are Memorandums of Understanding, signed with more than 12 countries so far. There is over $100 million raised so far for this fully transferable technology, meaning that the technology can be built and rolled out in any country, bringing jobs to the country in which it is being implemented in. These are just some of the countries that are already involved. You can see Indonesia, India, Belarus, Ireland, Russia, the Ukraine. Of course, Australia is up there. Countries you don't see are Ethiopia, Kazakhstan, the UAE, among a few. Of course, there are many, many countries that are already involved. So what's in it for you? Well, it's pretty simple. There's obviously a wealth creation education that Skyway Invest Group deliver. You can see the Apple and the Bitcoin there. Perhaps you missed out on getting Apple in 1976 when you'd get a lot for a little. And of course, Bitcoin has had a meteoric rise over the last 10 years as well. If you want to stay stuck as a rat on the hamster wheel that you see there on the left-hand side, then by all means pass this by. If you'd like to get into the cash flow quadrant there that you can see and get into the right side of the quadrant, the big business or the investor, then our wealth creation education can certainly assist you with that to financial freedom. Multi-level crowd investing, it is a new evolution for a world concept. It's basically where we can all come together and all benefit. Basically, the one thing that stops major projects moving forward are a matter of resources. And when I say resources, I'm talking about money. Every one of us has probably got a plethora of ideas that we would like to get launched. Well, now we have a community of like-minded people where we can crowd fund or crowd invest for a little bit of ownership in that company to make that concept a reality. So you can see equity crowdfunding is not new. In 2012, President Obama, he passed the Jobs Act, and of course the rest of the world kind of followed suit there, which basically meant that companies could crowdfund for an equity slice in the company. You can see there Octus Rift did $2.4 million in their crowdfunding. Now the difference there is that nobody actually got equity in that. They just got an Oculus, if you like, which is a virtual reality mask. And of course, it was acquired by Facebook for $2 billion. Not one of the crowdfunders actually got any return for that, whereas with equity-based crowdfunding, they would have. The potential of Skyway technology is enormous. Obviously, we're in the venture and startup market right now, 2014 to 2018. There is a lot of movement in this space. The manufacturer market, and of course, real estate, that will be moving into 2018, 2020. This is now where we start to acquire some land. You could all be a co-owner of that land and the manufacturing market as well. This is what makes this so exciting. There's so many different assets or facets, if you like, to this opportunity where you can make money. Of course, the stock market 2020 to 2025, by the time we have acquired our real estate and we've started in the manufacturer market, of course, the value of the company continues to raise. So by the time we get to our IPO, that dollar par value per share is looking very, very solid. Of course, beyond that, moving into the banking sector, we already know that the current fiat currency isn't doing us any favors. And of course, as I've already mentioned, we saw the meteoric rise of Bitcoin and of course other cryptocurrencies. So there is a chance for us to move into that sector as well and divorce ourselves from the current centralized system that's making us debt slaves. Part 3, there are business opportunities for those of you who see this for what it is and would like to make some money from it along the way. Obviously, you can be passive from what you've seen and just sit back and wait. Or if you wanted to be active in it and you wanted to go out and share this with other people, then there are other ways that you can make money from it as well. You can make money from sharing it with other people through a network. Now, what you want to look at with your network, it is actually an asset on your behalf. And the more you grow that asset, the more it will pay you over time. Obviously, tomorrow you could become a country rep for the company, which comes with its own perks. You can become a member of the multi-level crowd investing department, which basically shares revenue from worldwide. We're in over 146 countries right now worldwide, so there's potential revenue coming from all of that you could get a share of if you're in the multi-level crowd investing department. Obviously, there's percentage of big contracts. If you are in an area that assists in the implementation of those contracts, you can receive money coming back from those. In the future, obviously, we've already spoken about the IPO opportunity when the company will go to IPO. But however, more exciting than that is the dividends that can potentially come from it. Now, these are dividends, or these pipes that they are now, which will become equity in the company, or are equity in the company, are a willable asset that you can pass on to your children for future generations. So you are literally setting up generational wealth right here with this. If you are looking at building a business, then obviously for anyone you personally introduce, you would get 8% of whatever they put in, and so on and so forth. If you want a more detailed explanation on that, then I suggest you get back to the person who has showed you this video initially. How can you start? It's very simple. Register today and complete your verification process. The person that invited you to watch this video will certainly assist you with that. 2, you can learn about the product and company, learn about the business inside out. If you're going to get serious about this, if you're going to get serious about anything, then obviously it makes sense to know as much as you can about that opportunity before you start sharing it. Tap into the Facebook group. Skyway Invest Group Global is the main group that you want to tap into. There's relevant information that is shared in there on a daily basis. And of course, there's useful information in the file section to assist you in growing your business. Very, very simple. The last thing, guys, is invite other people, to see this very brief opportunity presentation, or to see a more in-depth one on a Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Queensland time. Of course, there are already recordings on a number of different YouTube channels, Global Transnet being the main one for English-speaking world, where you can see webinars that have been done. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your time. Look forward to talking to you very soon. Take care.